Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Charles was warned. Charles was warned. That's what they say. Um, let's see, Madame Truffaut. Thank you so much for being here first. And hello to Miss Z. Thank you for being here. And Connie Bowmer. Hey, Legs. Thank you for being here. And anyway, you know what? I went to sleep early and then I woke up. So I'm just like, well, let me go on. So here I am. Um, there we go. As ever, we're going to start off with as ever. By the way, you guys, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Um, the process of Meghan making her wonderful strawberry preserve, she's already demonstrated how it's done. And despite of the fact that it is a commercial operation, remember when they were trying to say, "Oh, she makes it seem like it's coming from Montecito, but it's from miles and miles away. It's from 2,000 miles away." Duh. Do you think grandma's cookies are made in grandma's kitchen? Huh? Do you think Chef Boyardee is still making ravioli in his kitchen? I mean, come on, grow up. Um, the point is to take a recipe and scale it up. That is how you're successful. By the way, a unbiased opinion about Meghan's preserves. I gifted 3 jars for Christmas to a very dear friend, and she said her grandkids devoured it. They thought it was absolutely wonderful. So, um, grandkids tested. Good stuff. Um, I'm not sure exactly how that was achieved there on the left side, but these were the latest images that our Duchess posted online. So I'm just sharing them with you as I always do whenever I come across anything like that. Um, but yeah, it appears to be as ever ice cubes. If there's an as ever ice cube maker, I want it as ever. Let's see, what is the last thing that our Duchess sent? Oh, soothe your senses. I didn't see this one. Soothe your senses. I wonder if Meghan has taken these images herself. There's a good chance that she is the one doing it. Okay. Also, this is a bit off topic, but did you guys hear that there's going to be another blizzard in New York? Did you guys hear that? Another blizzard on the East Coast? I don't know how they're going to take it. I mean, they'll survive it. After all, it is New York. You'll never find a tougher bunch, right? But I do have the Brute. I have not tried it yet, but I'm waiting for a special occasion to enjoy the As Ever Brute. That's some expensive stuff. Hey, Hazel Jones. And then, of course, I saw the picture on the right side. I was like, what the? And then I realized it is a raspberry in the Brute. And that's a beautiful glass, isn't it? But yeah, that is a raspberry in the brute. Not how sure that tastes, but I will try it if I get the opportunity. Good morning, Amelia Rodriguez, Hazel Jones, Felton LaShawn, and always the hostess with the mostest. There's our Duchess. As you can see, she is pouring brute and including a raspberry. Take note, you guys. This is what you do when you're a great host. And remember, there's the brute. There is the what is it? Oh wait, don't tell me. The as ever rosé. That's the one on the right, and in the middle is a LeBlanc, LeBlanc, or whatever that is. That is a white wine. I think those two wines are dry on the right side, and I usually prefer something red and something sweet, like a Pinot Grigio. No, wait, Pinot Noir. That's it. Pinot Grigio is white. Pinot Noir, that is a red. Yeah, I prefer something like that. Something sweet and something dark. So, congratulations, Megan Sussex, for your very successful as ever business. Just imagine if we were trying to say American Riviera Orchard. Although the name was really starting to, I guess, take to me. I was kind of starting to like that name, American Riviera Orchard. Although it does sound a bit pretentious. Um, I mean, there's the Riviera and then there's the American Riviera. So I don't know. Not that our Duchess is pretentious, but just the naming of that area. Just a whiff of pretense. Just a whiff. Andrew, you're a sick old man. You're a sick old man. I don't believe these are real, but oh my God, do they look authentic? They really do. I don't suspect these are real. However, it is a wonderful, you know, facsimile of it. If it were real, it would look just like that. But if I do find out that these are real, but I don't believe they are because I didn't see any newspapers running them. So I don't suppose that they are real, but gosh, I love that. It looks absolutely ideal. But yeah, I don't see it any place except for Twitter. So it cannot be real. But what do you guys think about all these people saying Charles must abdicate? He bet not do anything of the sort. The world is not ready for Willie Windsor. Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. ARO. Arrow. Arrow. ARO. Yeah, that would be probably what most people would say, right? The ARO. ARO. American Riviera Orchard. Okay, so what is this business about Charles was warned? Well, according to the Fail, they said he had a heads up. They said the king was warned as long ago as 2019 that the royal family's name was being abused by Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. Business associates, that it was being abused by his business associates. The Mail on Sunday can reveal in a bombshell email A whistleblower told the palace that the former duke had secret financial links to controversial millionaire financier David Rowland, who was abusing his royal links. David Rowland, huh? Is that the guy that's pictured there? Messages seen by this newspaper also appear to show that Andrew, who was sensationally arrested on Thursday over suspicion of misconduct and public office, allowed Rollin to effectively join in with his official duties. Um, Officials' duties in or out of the bedroom. I mean, they really do have to clarify that. Because to Andrew, in or out of the bedroom, it seems like it was one and the same. The cache of emails threatened to draw Charles further into crisis, triggered by Andrew's links to J.E. and allegations he passed potentially confidential and sensitive documents to the convicted pervert. I just like to say pervert. Um, Andrew once told Epstein that Mr. Rollins was his trusted money man. The banker and his son Jonathan joined Andrew on trips he made in his office capacity as a taxpayer funded trade envoy between 2001 and 2011, visiting places such as China and former Soviet states. You know, knowing Andy the way that the family knew Andy, don't you think it is kind of pretentious to pretend as though he was acting independent of the crown? God only knows what his real purpose was. You know what I'm saying? I am letting my imagination run wild. And just to feed his needs, they provided him with other stuff. But if I'm correct, it was an unpaid position, and he was a special trade envoy. I mean, that is a situation pregnant with possibilities. So don't be surprised, you know, when something goes wrong, especially coming from that family with all of his privileges. He's not going to conduct himself like some bureaucrat that has just been assigned by, let's say, a prime minister or a president or something like that. He is going to conduct himself as he always have as a member of the royal family. Over a period of several years, Andrew repeatedly alerted Mr. Rollins to business opportunities arising from his work. Okay, was Andrew's friends the only ones who benefited from his inside information? If he was indeed passing on inside information, why didn't he enrich himself? Right? And it does seem to me that along with enriching his friends, surely his mother and his brother benefited from his work. I just don't see why he would be there with all this inside information if the queen did not use it to fatten her own pocketbook. You know what I'm saying? It just, we know that the queen had these offshore accounts and even some shady dealings along with Charlie Windsor. So I just believe they're trying to pin a bunch of stuff on him and make him solely responsible for something that was really, as they say, a family business. In August 2019, a whistleblower who had detailed knowledge of Andrew's business dealings with Mr. Rollins sent an email to Charles and then the then Prince of Wales, via the royal lawyer Farrer and Company, warning of David Rollins' abuse of the royal family. So in 2019, Charles received a letter that was detailed, well, not a letter, but an email detailing Andrew's transgressions. Do go on. So, how whistleblower raised the alarm to King? August 16th, 2019, Your Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, I apologize for the breach of protocol, which is, in my humble opinion, warranted. His Royal Highness, the Duke of Sussex, listen to me, the Duke of York's action suggests that His Royal Highness considers his relationship with David Rollins more important than that of his family. And on the 10th of September 2019, it says to David Rollins, Clive Alderton, Mark Bridges. That is a reply from the King's people regarding the email that I sent to His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, on August the 16th, 2019. Copy below, the evidence provided unequivocally proves that you have abused the royal family's name. Your family's bank, which remains under your control, Bank Haviland, exists because you paid HRH, the Duke of York, to procure a Luxembourg banking license. His Royal Highness, the Duke of York, has concealed his commercial relationship with you within a company incorporated in the British Virgin Islands called, offshore, from which you made payments into His Royal Highness the Duke of York's account, at et cetera, et cetera. Oh, I'm telling you, somebody's hands are in the cookie jar. Let me see. So they are willing to talk about insider trading, but not of victims. I guess the insider trading is outside of the palace, and the other stuff happened on palace grounds, meaning people should be questioned. You know what? You got a great point there. You got a great point there. It's like they're giving them a pound of flesh, right? They're giving them something substantial, but they don't want to let them any further inside of the actual households. It said His Royal Highness the Duke of York's actions suggest that His Royal Highness considered his relationship with David Rawling more important than of his family. The whistleblower then sent a second email to Rollins himself, copying in Clive Alderton's Charles' private secretary, and Mark Bridges, the late Queen's solicitor at Farrer and Company. That message says the evidence provided unequivocally proves that you have abused the royal family name. Wow. Andrew told Jonathan Rollins he had a very positive chat with Prime Minister David Cameron and Labor leader Ed Miliband, apparently at Prince William's wedding in 2011, when questions were being raised over the trade envoy position following this newspaper publication of the now infamous photograph of him clutching a 17-year-old Virginia Giuffre. Oof. Well, it goes on and on. I'm going to leave it there, but They say that Charles knew. That's the whole point. Is they said Charles knew. And so that's the big headline. The royal family's good name is being abused. Whistleblower told the palace. Emails proves Charles was warned about his brother's secret deal. Um, does Charles even read emails? Not that I'm trying to excuse him because he was represented by some very important people, but does he even read his own emails? I mean, that does not excuse anything because those people are supposed to represent him, but huh? And then look at that on the right side there. Um, I've said this on interviews on TV recently. I believe that the king should step down. William and Kate to save the monarchy. You guys, I still firmly believe that there has been a conspiracy, allegedly. I'm going to allege there was a conspiracy in place to shame Charles out of his position. And this is a new version of it. But as far back as I'm going to say at least 2019, they were trying to do other things, even earlier than that, I guess. But it just seems to me like they have been trying to shame and embarrass Charles from ever seeking a coronation, let alone that he would remain king for the rest of his life. And I do believe that Kensington Palace, Will and Kate have been conspiring to make this happen. And it's very bold of so many of the media people to make these public declarations that Charles should step down, Charles should step aside. But why would he do that if he's been waiting for this job, for this position, this role his entire life? It's the only way to justify all of the work that he's done in the past, that he would get the top job. And it's just not done like that. People wanted the queen to step back a long time ago, and she refused to do it. She said it's just not done that way. Let's see. Charles was not the head of the family then. He had no power or authority to undermine the queen, who clearly decided to bury Andrew's sins. You know what? You make a great point there. Absolutely. Because as I have begun to realize increasingly um, within just the past few months, is that you just cannot give the queen a free pass. Um, when certain things mattered the most, she was still the queen. And same with Charles. No matter what's going on with Charles, Charles is not going to yield his authority just because he's getting older, or even worse, just because of illness. He's not willing to let that go. And even if for some reason Charles was incapacitated, then William, in all likelihood, would become a regent. I don't think Charles would just say, you know what, I'm going to abdicate. No, William would probably be a regent, and he'd just have to act on Charles' behalf as best he could. So I would not expect him to just, you know, I wouldn't expect that. Lane Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for joining us this morning. Mm. And again, the classic. I love those faces that he pulls. Nobody does it better. So the Queen was blind on Andrew. Now the royals play catch up. That is the story that I'm sure Charles would prefer. King Charles was left with a bomb to dispose over his brother's conduct. The hazards ahead include the British public's reaction as well as two trips to America. Wait, whose two trips to America? Well, anyway, that is an article from Roy Anika, and I think it's an old article. Um, yeah, I mean, Charles was not monarch at the time, and William at the time, the king in waiting, he would have been privy to some of this information. And how far back ago was it? Was it like 3 years ago when they were trying to convince William that he should stay away from that Sultan guy? So I can't really make the case that William should have known back in 2019, but it seemed like it would make sense that he would know because of his status as future king, that they would have had him in the loop, and that he had even been warned about his Sultan friend, who was good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Let me see. They're still coming to the U.S. for the Orange Menace 4th of July parade. Do they really want to be pictured with more Epstein people? Are you serious? You know what? I didn't hear them say that they're not coming. And what is that? 3 months away? 4 months away? Uh, if I was Charles, or if I advised Charles, I would say stay home. He best stay home because there's no way that no, he should not come. Let me see. Gladys and Chuck are coming in to the U.S. It's not next month, is it? That's for the 4th of July. So yeah, that I next month are they? Well, yeah, because they wouldn't have a state dinner for the 4th of July, right? Let me see what the timetable is for that. Let me see. Charles and Camilla trip to the U.S. Oh, you're right. Let me see. King Charles III and Camilla are expected to make a significant state visit to the U.S. in April of 2026 to mark the nation's 250th anniversary, with reports suggesting high level talks are underway. This follows a September 2025 visit where the king and queen previously met with him. Yeah, so April is what they're aiming for. I thought they were coming over for the 4th of July celebrations, but okay. But still, it is to honor 250 years of the US. Well, they say here contingency discussions suggest that if Charles' schedule or health does not allow, the Prince of Wales might attend in his place. And of course, if the Prince of Wales come, he'd have to take that stick figure with him. Ah, that should be interesting. That should be darn interesting. You guys, what if they invite the Sussexes? Wouldn't that be surreal? That would be very strange to see. What if the Sussexes were invited? I mean, hear me out. If they do that, it would be a great distraction from everything else. I'm not saying that the Sussexes should go. I'm just saying it would serve them as a very good distraction. But yeah, don't go. Do not go. Let's see. Didn't after the last visit, the Orange Minister insulted them? What is this? Need some more embarrassment. Also, I don't know if Kitty is allowed to leave the country. She might be unwell. Okay. So, Prince William's Earthshot Prize faces scrutiny over Epstein linked donor questions. As I said, William has a couple of issues of his own. The press is really downplaying this one, though. They're not really giving this much oxygen. But Prince William's Earthshot Prize faces scrutiny over a founding partner's ties to Jeffrey Epstein. That's the guy who um, was he the one that asked? No, that I think he was the one who said thank you for the torture video. Anyway, um, and the guy stepped down from his position as president of whatever. Um, were they port managers or did they have a shipping business, something like that? The P and O. He stepped down from that. I mean, look at there. There he is at the Earth shot. He looks guilty to me. So Tweedledee and Tweedledum are coming. Uh um a little change of topic, you guys. Check it out. A joyful day. Final piece of the Stragata Familia Central Tower put in place. Completion of a glass cross bring Antoni Gaudi's church to maximum height of 172.5 meters, 144 years after work began. They're almost done with it, you guys. If you've ever been to Barcelona, then chances are you've either seen the Sagrada or perhaps you visited the Sagrada. I myself went back in 2018, and it is one of the most extraordinary places you've ever seen. It looked nothing, well, I can't say it looked nothing like that, but it wasn't as complete as it is now. They've done a lot in 8 years since I was there, a whole lot. I think each of those smaller towers represent the 12 apostles, and, the very tallest one, that is the Jesus Christ, tower. Leg says, Wank has a lot of to answer for. Cost of those homes. Remember Peppercorn? Yes, the Peppercorn. We almost forgot about that. The scar on Kate's temple and separation staying at KP. Epstein people at three. Oh, is it at three charities? Yeah, that's a lot to answer for. Thank you so much for the super chat. This is the inside of the Sagrada. They don't have the traditional stained glass. They have the larger pieces of colored glass, which creates a kaleidoscope effect on the inside. And when you look up, that is what you see. It's like you're in a forest of stone. Very unusual. And this was the original design. As you can see, Gaudi wanted a huge star crucifix like topping for the church. This was his design from 144 years ago. And the um, the way they topped it off, believe me, that thing is massive. But it seems as though there's an observation deck. At least I did see a staircase on the inside. So whether or not they're going to use that for the general public, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing they will. I'm guessing they will. Uh, Yesterday you were wondering why I was laughing. Um, these right here. Ah, yes, that's Kate. That's Kate. Um, ah, hmm. This is what Celibici shared with us. Celibici has a knack for finding the most interesting photos of Kate, and among other people, Camilla. And uh, hey, Kate. Looks kind of different when she doesn't have that big wig on, right? Right. Mm. Yes, our Duchess is quite photogenic. It's hard for Megan to take a bad picture. It really is. I mean, even in those unguarded moments, you know what I mean? That's all. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be too petty or anything, am I? Speaking of petty, do you guys recognize these three handsome young men? Do you guys recognize them? Is it some kind of boy band? Some wealthy college students? A debate club? Who are these people? Huh? I'll wait. I'll wait. Mm, I'm waiting. Oh, Muriel. Yes. Muriel says Philippe and the Danish prince, now king. And yes, Frederick. That is Frederick of Denmark. Yeah. Wow, they were hot, right? Well, take a look. King Philippe the Sixth of Spain, born in 1968, and his cousin Pavlos, Crown Prince of Greece, born in 1967, and Frederick the Tenth of Denmark was born in 1968. And look who was born all those years later. Uh, Prince William of Wales, the Crown Prince of the United Kingdom, was born in 1982. What happened? What happened? Uh-huh. I'm gonna say that the other 3 princes there, they didn't do too bad at all, but William, huh? What is he, 44 now? Mm. What do you say, William born in 1920? Ah, poor William. Must be hard on him, huh? Prince William of Wales, born 1982. How could he have been born in the 80s? And he looks just as old as the royals that were born in the 1960s. How's that possible? I mean, there's what, 15, uh, 20 years, something like that? Jeez Louise. And then as he gets older, he takes on more of a clown like appearance, if you ask me. He's starting to look more like he should be at home in a three-ring circus. Let's see. I think that this is why he is so angry. Imagine looking kind of hot at a moment in time and now looking like Mr. Burns. It is why he takes it out on everyone around him. uh, I know he looks older than them. Yeah. Well, what could I say? Send in the clowns. There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe he's here. Yes, send in the clowns. Send in William. Oh, by the way, you guys, breaking news: Kaiser Wilhelm II wasn't found in the Epstein files. Another win for the German Empire. I repeat, Kaiser Wilhelm II wasn't found in the Epstein files. So if you guys were worried, don't. He's not included. Okay. Kate and William are still not in touch with Harry, but she thinks life's too short to get hung up on him and jokes about her feral children intimate portrait reveals. Remember a while ago that article? Um, well, there's that statement, and then there's the way she always looked at Harry. So I want to believe her. I really want to believe her, but I don't know. The photos say otherwise. The photos say otherwise. Um, she seemed a bit obsessed with Harry. So, yeah, maybe that's why she doesn't like Meghan. Maybe. Just came across these today. You know, over time, she herself became more bitter and rotten, and now she's like a Disney villain. I mean, you can hardly tell any of these apart, can you? I'm just going to tell you the Disney witch is on the left side, not to be confused with the Windsor witch. The Wicked Witch of Windsor. Huh? You have to admit the the resemblance is very strong, right? Let's see. Ms. Z says, oh Lord. Okay. It was the happy trio until Meghan showed up. I think Harry was playing buffer in their marriage. Yeah, it's always like that, isn't it? They love to have a third around so that they don't have to focus on each other. That is the way it goes. They love to have that third party around so they don't have to focus on one another. Yes, Windsor Witch, the Wicked Witch of Windsor. Anyway, you guys, guess what? That's it. That's all I have for you right now. I will see you guys again later. If you want to stick around for a little bit, I'll look at some of your comments before I go. Just to refresh, the um, the Daily Mail is saying Charles was warned, and I do not believe that those are actual real mugshots of you know of Andrew. And our Duchess shared some hostess images, some of her famous hosting images of As Ever products. Okay, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, you guys. You know, it is increasingly difficult to compete with the shorts that are being created on YouTube, which of course is their, you know, what do you call it? That's their choice. It's their choice to do that, but it has definitely changed the traffic for people like me that make long form videos, right? So if they choose to do that, that's their prerogative. You can't blame them. It's a good business model because TikTok just came out of nowhere, and then TikTok became incredibly uh, competitive. So YouTube wants in on that. It would have been cool if YouTube would have like created a second platform, but I don't know what's that would entail. But they did not, and so there are a lot of people that are going on YouTube and they just do not see the long form videos as much or as often, which is unfortunate. And I believe that that's what Megan was alluding to when she was saying that in the future, that even some of her content may become much shorter in length because people don't really care for the well, no, I shouldn't say that, but some people don't care for the long form videos. I think that is too bad too because I have used YouTube as an educational tool for years, and I really value that. Let's see. I think that Charles III set up this arrest, mainly because the press was there before the police. I think that Charles III wants some type of investigation to say that they can't comment. That makes all the sense in the world. It really does. It all seems so contrived. I don't think anything is going to come of this arrest. Remember what I was saying the other day? One of the most important things is not so much that you're doing something, but just the appearance that you're doing something. And this was something to do, was to get him locked up. Let's see. Hey, Baron and Squatties, do y'all remember when the UK press tried to insinuate that Harry and Pippa dating because they were spotted on a boat with friends and she was looking into his eyes, smiling? I don't recall that, but I do know that at some point in time they were trying to create this whole idea of Harry and Pippa, and oh god, that would be disgusting. I don't like her. I mean, I don't have anything against her, but I don't like her. I don't like her sister either. I don't like the whole family. They just seem so shady. And seeing where Harry is today, gosh, that would have been a tragedy had that happened. Oh yeah, the fact that he was arrested on his birthday, let's not forget that. That is definitely sending a message. On your birthday, you shall be arrested. That sends a message, a very strong message. Thank you, Cookies and Cream. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you for that. Oh, that is pretty. I just got a little something in my inbox. That is pretty. Thank you for that. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that. Very nice. Let me see. According to Pedo, there are laws against police entering Sandringham without giving Charles notice. Theater. Oh, okay. So I thought that only applied to when the king or queen, whenever the monarch, the sovereign, is in residence, or if they're like within their okay, if you're with the sovereign, you cannot be arrested. I thought that was the law. The investigation is going to go nowhere. Yeah, the investigation is going nowhere. I don't believe it's going anywhere either. I think it was just something to do. Oh yeah, when they had the that memorial for Sarah Everhard, and they put Meghan's name on the police report because it was an illegal gathering, and they put Meghan's name on the police report instead of Kate, who showed up without a mask on her face during the height of the global pandemic. Yes, Charles did say that he was ready to cooperate. And cooperate could mean giving the green light to enter Sandringham whenever they choose. And all of that makes sense. I just could not imagine the police entering the Sandringham estate without notifying Charles. I could not picture that. Let me see. Peach Rose says Charles will never know peace because of the treatment of Princess Diana and Prince Harry. Yeah, the ancestors are going to deal with him. Okay, I believe the monarch must be in residence to be informed. Oh, Wood Farm is about 2 miles from Sandringham House. Okay. Or as Prince Philip would say, just a broken arm away. Just a broken arm away. I still cannot believe that Prince Philip broke that woman's arm driving through that intersection. Didn't even yield. He just drove straight through. They said he was singing Penny Natch Bull and I don't care. Penny Natch Bull and I don't care. Penny Natch Bull and I don't care. Yeah, they said he was yelling Penny Natch Bull and he drove right through the intersection. Didn't even slow down, didn't yield, didn't stop, just right through and broke that woman's arm. And there she was telling Phil and Holly all about it. I hope she got a nice settlement for that. Okay. Penny Natch Bull and I don't care. Penny Natch Bull and I don't care. They need to do a billboard with this. That should be a billboard right uh, somewhere where Andrew can see it. They should do that. And what those poor girls must be going through right now. You know what I mean? Has there been any reaction from Beatrice or Eugenie? Has anybody heard from them? Oh, wait, I think we got a reaction from Beatrice. Okay. Little reaction from Beatrice. Okay. All right. A little bit of a reaction from Beatrice. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that says a lot. At least she's saying it with her eyes. Okay. You know, I hope that this doesn't cause Charles to get increasingly ill from all this extra stress and pressure, if he actually feels stressed or pressured. I hope it doesn't make him unwell. because I am in no hurry for William to be to. Oh, I can't even say it, to get to the throne. Oh, okay. You know, um, have you seen that interview with that? I guess he was a former Royal Protection Officer, and I forgot who he did the interview with, but he spoke at length about a lot of that stuff. And also, he spoke about, um, oh gosh, I want to. It's been so long since I saw that, so I don't want to say the wrong thing. But yeah, it was very interesting, and he spoke about the frequent guests, visitors, and such. And guys, this involves a member of the royal family. This involves a very powerful individual. But think about backstairs Billy, William Talon. I do believe that within the Queen Mother's household, and maybe other households, but I do believe that within the Queen Mother's household, that there were crimes taking place thanks to backstairs Billy. They would allegedly prey upon some of the younger, more impressionable people that were hired by the royal family, and especially some of the guys that came from rural communities who applied and was hired at Buckingham Palace. Some of those younger guys were bullied and worse by William Talon, allegedly, and his partner. He had a long term relationship with someone who was employed by the royal family. There are people out there right now that are cringing, knowing what they experienced while employed by the royal family. I can almost guarantee you that. And their stories um, went uninvestigated, dismissed by the police and such. You know, one of the things that made me so sick about um, uh, Savile is that there was an anonymous letter or letters that came from someone. They sent it to the police, of course, and the police just dismissed it because they did not want to make trouble for someone who was so important, someone who had a um, investiture and all that kind of stuff. They just did not want to make trouble. They just let it go. And they said that Jimmy Savile had what he called, I think it was the Sunday morning brunch or the Sunday afternoon club, where he would invite the police officials and other people from the community to his home for drinks and for, you know, guy talk, lots of expletives and stuff. And so these people were his friends. And it has been said that those are some of the same people that protected him. And I'm speaking of Jimmy Savile, protected him every time someone whispered or wrote an anonymous letter or made phone calls making accusations against him. And the same thing happened with Epstein. The one girl who was an artist, I saw her on whatever thing, and her sister. She had unfortunately introduced her sister to these people, and it was alleged that Ghislaine Maxwell was used to. I don't know if you all know how this works, but when you have someone like a Maxwell that can help to disarm and relax someone who's about to be exploited or assaulted, that's her role. That is her role, is to have another female presence so that you could lower your inhibitions. It is also sinister, but that is one of the tactics that they use. Uh oh, let's see here. Yes, it's a distraction. They're using Duchess Meghan as a distraction. And something about the monarch is a piece of shit. Is that what that says? You're absolutely right. And what's that? Members of the royal family, something about scandals. Oh, lure them to those apartments or whatever. Yeah. Well, and it says something about they're a piece of shit. Okay. Okay. Said that twice, did you? Well, thank you so much for your comment. And I agree with you. Members of the royal family are a piece of shit. I agree with you. Yes, Miss Z, that's how that works. Recruiter, madam, all of that. Yeah, and once again, Andrew seems to be at the center of it all, but are they just using him? It's not to say that he's not a bad person, and certainly I wouldn't imply that this stuff is made up, but it also gives cover to the rest of that clan, family. Yeah, it gives cover to the rest of them. Let's see. Honey Tea Biscuits, I am late, but on Lauren the Outsider said that Epstein was putting. Who? Well, I mean, we can't substantiate all of that stuff. Um, mm, yeah, we have no way to substantiate that stuff. I mean, it's easy to put a lot of stuff out like that and um, make all those implications, but it is important to say that these things are alleged or supposed or however you want to put it, but we have no way to prove that stuff. I'm sure that there's a lot of connections here and there, but we have to be very careful how we introduce stuff like that. Uh, Karma for Charles is so delicious. Oh, well, honey tea biscuit, I will wait until I can see that for myself because they are also trying to imply that Meghan in some way is connected, and we know that that's not the case. If it was, they wouldn't stop talking about it. But um, I'm just saying it is so many ways to misrepresent thanks to AI, right? And there are people on social media that are trying to imply things that they're hearing third and fourth party, right? And if you don't see it for yourself, if you don't see a major like media person or even a person on the social media that you trust to have actually done the footwork, unless you see those people saying these things, then just assume that it's exaggerated or it may just be untrue at all. Um, One of the things that I have gotten a little bit laxed on, but I was always disciplined about doing it. I'll show you. Um, okay, I could use this as an example. So let's say I see a newspaper front page like this. I have gotten very relaxed about using those without verifying them. But there was a time that before I would do anything about it, I would have to verify that yes, that is actually a Daily Mail newspaper because there are some people in Twitter that will change the headline and, you know, to the untrained eye, you wouldn't know the difference. So that's why I say you have to be very careful because there are people that are making up stuff, which is why I shared the thing about Kaiser Wilhelm as a little reminder that not everything that you see is the truth, is not accurate. Everything that you see is not actually accurate. So that's why I say we have to be very careful about these things because there are some people that make these AI videos of plane crashes and storms and boats sinking and fights and stuff like that. And you stop and you look at it and you're just like, is that AI? So yeah, that's why we have to verify these things for ourselves. And with the Epstein files, I do believe that they are going to protect a lot of powerful people by running fake stories and fake articles and phony um, redacted, unredacted comments and not comments, but files from the Epstein files just to create confusion, just so that they can say, oh, see, they made that up. So maybe this is made up. So, yeah, just a little caution there. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be very careful, honey tea biscuit, because there's a lot of, especially if it's not a Sussex friendly channel, there's a lot of people that are making up stuff and they're insinuating. It's like they are so thirsty to try to imply something about Meghan and Harry. Meghan and I saw one of them say Meghan and Harry need to be questioned. They need to be questioned about what? What do they need to be questioned about? So anybody who has a score to settle may possibly use this moment as a way to get even with someone. I am looking for that thing I shared the other day, and I'm going to share that, and then I'll probably say goodnight at that point. But it speaks to just this topic. Also, I know that you all sometimes have seen that certain articles, certain stories come out, and I don't necessarily report on them that day. Um, I wait. And why do I wait? First of all, there's no rush. There's no rush. We don't have to be the first off the block with everything that comes out. That's not necessary. It Believe me, it will come back to bite you in the behind. So there is no rush to get this information out there. Eventually, if it's true, then everybody will find out about it anyway. And if it's not true, if you give it enough time, we'll find out that as well. Okay, so I'm looking for this guy. Is this it? Nope, that's not him. Aha, right here. This is the one. So let me get this set up and you'll understand what I mean. Okay, it's coming, you guys. Give me just a minute here. It is coming.
We have breaking news this evening. I've obtained the letter the Department of Justice is required to send to Congress outlining why it made redactions and provide a list of, quote, politically exposed persons listed in the Epstein files to Congress. Only problem, this letter is designed to muddy the waters over the Epstein files even more, and I'll explain why in a second. So the letter right here, this is the first page, is 6 pages. The first section outlines categories of documents released and withheld, essentially a repeat of the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The more interesting section is the third one, the list of government officials and politically exposed persons. What that means, unclear. But the DOJ listed everyone who is potentially famous in these files, according to them, even if they didn't have a direct connection to Jeffrey Epstein. And why is that dangerous? Well, because it's about to muddy the waters. Because they listed people like Elvis Presley, for example. This is list number 1. You have everyone from Jeb Bush to Merrick Garland to Mick Jagger. You have Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle. And then you have Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, J.D. Vance, Mark Zuckerberg. Some of these people on the list have a direct connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump, for example. But so many people on that list don't have a direct connection to Jeffrey Epstein. For example, if one of their names was mentioned in an email between 2 FBI agents talking about their favorite new movie, and they mention Meghan Markle, and she was starring in the movie. Just an example, this is not a real thing. Her name would technically be in the files and would be on that list. And the DOJ hasn't provided any explanation as to how or where these people are on the list. So in 2 words, it's malicious compliance and it needs to be called out. Spread the word, follow for more.
Okay, malicious compliance. And that's exactly the point, is that everything is not what it appears. And thank you, Mirielle, for sharing that with me, because it's very important. And especially when there's so much news coming out so fast like this, use caution. Use caution. Um, when I'm having a problem with, let's say, they said the other day that YouTube was down, right? I slept through it. before you freak out about YouTube being down, Google, is YouTube not working? Is YouTube malfunctioning? Google it. Chances are someone in Reddit has already started a thread where you can see almost in real time people saying what they have experienced, right? If you hear that some famous person is dead, Google it. The first things that come up are the major news outlets. If they're not talking about it, chances are it's probably not true. I mean, you could just go directly to TMZ, but I think that you should just Google it and scroll down and see how many times you see it, which in all likelihood, probably none at all, because that person isn't dead at all. It's just something that someone put on Facebook. Why do people do stuff like that? I don't know. I don't know. But it is important that you take your time, take a deep breath. It's not a big emergency. It's not going to change things because it's, you know, coming out so fast like that, because you got to make sure that you verify where it's coming from. Um, People that know that I'm like, into the Sussexes, so to speak, I get a phone call. What is this about them getting a divorce? Are they getting divorced? And the first thing I say is, where'd you see that? Well, it just came up on my phone. Right. But what news organization was that? Uh huh. You do know that if that was in any way accurate, it would be everywhere. It wouldn't just be somewhere, it would be everywhere. You wouldn't be able to escape it. And I felt really bad for my poor, late, lamented aunt who would open up her Google and she kept seeing these terrible stories about the Sussexes, who she had began to really care about. And I'd get the phone call in the afternoon. Um, yeah, I say, okay, where'd you see it? Where'd you see it? Uh huh. No, that's not true. And sometimes I even open up my computer. I say, let me take a look. I say, I'm not seeing that anywhere. So it's probably not true. So yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. I thought years ago that the internet was going to make us so much wiser and we're going to be so much more informed. We'll be better informed. And instead, it has been hijacked by a lot of evil, cruel, nasty, mean people who want to mislead us, who wants to keep us angry and nervous and reactive and anxious, because that's what they use for engagement. That's the clickbait of it. I hope that's been helpful to you. Let's see here. Anyway, I think that should do it for us. And I will see you guys later. Oh gosh, I'm going much further than I thought I would today. See y'all.